Hello, everyone. How are we all doing? It's been a minute. I was looking this guy up. Alfier, I'm assuming that's how you say it. On his LinkedIn, that has no photo. Maybe this is bugged for some reason. He blocked me on Twitter after I was trying to talk to him about the metaverse. And then he made a very confusing comment, which made me think, wait, this guy doesn't even know what the metaverse is. And after he blocked me, I was like, no, he for sure doesn't know what the metaverse is, because he just made himself look like an idiot in front of his million followers. It's just confusing to me. I'm also looking at this right now. Stanford graduate, mathematician, CEO, Capital Market Laboratories. Accomplishments and intelligence still don't equal wisdom. Crazy. Also, why in the world would you block me? I don't know. I just confused. I think it's Twitter in general. It's social media. It's confusing to me. It makes people weird. Which brings us to a big topic. People on Twitter say the dumbest things. And that's actually a new segment I wanted to do, called People on Twitter Say the Dumbest Things. Starting with our boy Louie here. He doesn't show his last name, thank goodness. Let's bring Louie right over here. Okay, Louie. Louie says... Louie's on a tirade. He's upset. Snapchat sold off. So Louie says, a strictly software, cloud-based company blaming their miss on global supply chain is hilarious to me. 17 likes on Louie's post. He's posting to someone who I like, by the way. So no one pick on DY. I like DY. He's nice gentleman. Known him for a while. But Louie here, 17 likes. My correction, 4. Folks, this is a very basic relationship. You're an ad company. Companies pay you for ads when there's things to sell. When they don't have things to sell, they pay for less ads. And the immediate assumption everyone made was like, Snapchat must be lying. By the way, when Bath and Body Works was screaming that there, what was trending on Twitter, by the way, Bath and Bloody Works was trending on Twitter. Everyone thought that was super legitimate. But Snapchat, that can't be legitimate. It's so unthoughtful. It makes my head spin. You know how long I waited to try and do stuff like this because I was so nervous. I didn't want to be wrong. I didn't want to miss little things. I wanted to have the experience and expertise, and just people just out here spout off with forget not having any professional background. It's more of without even thinking. I don't understand how you make that comment. And then I don't understand how a majority of people then like that comment. That comment is so past. Whatever. We're dwelling on it too long. But it's very important. If you're watching this and what I said is a shocker to you, do yourself a favor. Do not spout off to other people about what to do until get a year of being consistently profitable and then comment on things. It's just fair. Don't do before you walk. I know we got a nation of narcissists. Everyone thinks that their opinion's super valuable, but it's not. It's not. Prove yourself. Then, yeah. Anyways, let's continue because Louie's got more to teach you. He said, why did companies like Snap fly during the pandemic when companies were worried about making less? Oh my, Louie. It's like if we pull up a 3-year chart, we could see the COVID dip and then watch everything skyrocket because the Fed was printing money. Folks, there's $400 trillion in credit worldwide. Oh, isn't that right, Azir? Hello. We're in the middle of a podcast, dude. We are. There's $400 trillion of debt, credit. $300 trillion of debt, or whatever. We don't want to get caught up in logistics. $400 trillion worth of debt. There's about $100 trillion in equity in the equity markets. Okay. We're really loaded up on the credit cards. Okay. Comments on like what they're gonna make less. Why'd it go up? Man, you're like almost 2 years late to ask that question. And you've had almost 2 years to figure out the answer to that question. So if you... Yeah, so moving on. We're not going to try to... I mean, I could just go on. I could write books. And he says, I wasn't talking about the software companies worried about making less. I was talking about the companies giving them ad dollars. They had to scale back because they weren't selling as much like now. User growth is pointless to an investor if they don't make money off them. Again, folks, I will give them credit. If you don't understand the very basic thing of like the relationship to company has nothing to sell, therefore nothing to advertise. Like if you don't understand that, then maybe his next comment isn't quite as ridiculous, but also understand to get there, you have to jump off a bridge into not a river. Like, yeah, okay. So I'm just making jokes. I don't mean to insinuate that this, when we're learning things, we all do silly things and we have to learn stuff. These are just jokes. So please do not think I'm trying to be hateful. Louie's last name's not here. And he didn't delete anything because he got the confirmation bias from the high amount of likes. But something tells me if he sees this video, he's not gonna feel the same way about that groupthink bias. Keep in mind, folks, when it comes to stuff like this, if you better think twice if you're with the popular opinion. I know that sounds counterintuitive. I know as humans we are such dumb creatures. We are programmed to think that just because more people agree with us, we are automatically right. That could not be it's so easy to do. You absolutely cannot do it. You 100% need to remember that most people don't make money at all. So if you're on the popular opinion, understand, if you're with the majority, understand the majority doesn't make money. The majority does not know what they're doing. Okay, so think twice. Think that like this is like we're gonna see him do a few other types of like big no-nos. Okay, so also okay, I even got distracted from the main topic. Let's talk about the software companies worried about making less. Let's talk about the companies giving them. I wasn't talking about the software companies worried about making less. I was talking about the companies. Yeah. Okay, yeah, the first thing of what he said actually doesn't make any sense at all. I don't know how to process that. He literally said, yeah, whatever, we're not going to get caught up on it. I think he doesn't know what he's talking about. They had to scale back because they weren't selling as much like now. And by the way, all right. User growth is pointless to an investor because they don't make money off them. Okay, let's process this, right? If they continue to grow in users, is the supply chain going to stay like restricted forever, or are these companies eventually going to want to sell things again? Okay. Yes, obviously. Okay, so when they go to sell things again, they're going to advertise again. Yes, obviously. Okay, so who are they going to advertise with? Do they advertise with the company that's been growing and their users rapidly and then has extra data to show you that things like their AR program, helps with securing purchases and driving up revenue? Yes, obviously. Okay. Now let's go back because Louie's far from done. He's got a... more wisdoms to bestow. Another thing someone else did on Twitter is I was trying to ponder about how effective gold really is. At some point, times are going to change, right? At some point, it's going to be silly to buy gold because you can just get gold anywhere. You can go up in space and get it from a comet. There's a giant meteor like in between, like right outside Saturn or something, that's worth like 20 times the global market cap because of all the precious metals on it. Like eventually some Jeff Bezos is going to be like, I want that rock, and he's going to go get that rock. So at some point we have to realize that some things that we conceptualize as I don't know, scarce might be we might be more malleable with that estimation than we consider, and this renewable rocket fuel makes that something you really need to think about. And I posted that. People keep like hitting me with this like, oh, you can't be serious. It's like, what in the world? Did you think the whole world was gonna go into a global shutdown? Like, these people don't even know what the metaverse is. They haven't pulled their heads out of the sand. Yeah. This just, it's stunning to me because it's like 95% of people are just not thoughtful. And it's crazy to me. It shouldn't be this hard to make money. We're still, I mean, yes. I mean, these past few months have been rough, right? But like, yeah, I'm starting to realize to a much greater extent why people are not making money. And let me tell you what, a lot of it's not even down to the fundamentals. A lot of it's just like a lack of. I almost won't. It's a little mean to say this, but it's the truth. It's like a lack of finishing your thoughts. Your thoughts are not finished. They don't come to a full conclusion. You don't finish them. You like stop. It's like stopping a boulder halfway down a hill. When I read the comment, I'm like, how's the boulder? How's that where it stopped? Like, it's not even finished. The momentum should carry it to an end, and it didn't. It doesn't make sense to me. There's. I don't know what it is. A lack of critical thinking. Just something. Something's. I tweet about Tesla. People are tweeting at me like they like Ford. And Tesla literally gained Ford's market cap in one day. Very obviously, there's not a comparison there. Ford is. I mean, everyone. Do you want to make money or not? It's at the end of the day. What do you want to? It just makes my head spin. It's crazy. All right, so let's find his. Oh my gosh, Louie. Louie. Several days later, he sat on it. He thought about it, and he was like, you know what? I'm not done embarrassing myself. He said, so why did Snap have such a negative reaction to earnings? If it was the supply chain, they'll get back on track when it's fixed. According to you, my guess, they're making less than expected and needed an excuse instead he admitted it. But the stock tanked anyways. Wall Street knows. You're right, Louie. Wall Street knows. You want to know why Wall Street knows? Because they actually listened to the earnings call. There's this crazy thing that occurs on earnings calls where they talk about what happened, and then there's like this weird thing you can do where you can listen to them. You can go online and you can listen to them, and then you can go through the company documents, and then you don't have to speculate like a moron on Twitter. Then you can have an estimated guess. An educated guess, a hypothesis, you might say, with some of the most basic concepts of scientific theory. We can try to do some critical thinking. Holy cow. And then he says, by the way, I like Snap, used to own it, made a bunch, and sold. Too soon in hindsight. Might buy again if it keeps pulling back, but I just think that comment about the supply chain is BS, and I had to call it out. So what's happened since then, folks? Facebook's confirmed issue with supply chains. They missed on revenue for their ads as well. What's the difference, though? Well, the other issue that both these companies had was the issue with Apple, right? And that's probably what's really affecting them. So they lost all this user data with the Apple changes. Apple now hides all that information. And to protect people's privacy, by the way, because Apple sold off pretty hard. And it's like, no, I think actually moving to protect people's data is a good move. I think there's a sentiment change. I think people are starting to realize that they should care about their data. Maybe people that can't critically think like Louie, but I hope some of us are learning to be thoughtful about things, to finish our thoughts, and start to, start to learn about what's going on around us, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. The stock's already going back on track because these things will get fixed. And they need an excuse instead of admitting it. Yeah, I mean, yes, there's going to be excuses. Yes, they probably did lean into it a little bit, but they barely missed. They barely lowered guidance. All the data programs are doing great. The Spotlight program's doing great. You have to remember that TikTok blew up off Snapchat ads, and Snapchat Spotlight is the TikTok competitor. If you don't even know where Spotlight is in the app, which a lot of people don't, okay, think about it. That still went up 50% in growth. Okay, so I mean, to me, that means, okay, it should be pretty easy to continue this positive swing because I don't even know that's in the app. So if you can just make that easier, go to maybe like an Apple method with the, everything's one click away. They put a lot into that app. And even more than that, there's a lot more things that I wish they would put into the app. One of those being NFTs. And someone, there was more unthoughtful people like, oh, the NFT thing is ridiculous or this thing is ridiculous. Listen, if you don't like ideas, you don't like talking about ideas, you don't like hypothesizing over things companies should do, don't trade. Don't get into investing. Or that's mean. Get into investing, but buy boring things, buy commodities or whatnot. But the money's in innovation, folks. And to make money in innovation, you have to think outside the box. If you are caught up in what is going on in the current conversation in front of you, if that is what you also are caught up in, if what's on the news is also all that's on your mind, then you have no clue what's going on at all. In the slightest, you have absolutely no clue what's going on. You are lost. You are stuck in groupthink. You have no clue it's just the reality of what it is. If news reports are how you try to anticipate what's going on, you don't know what's going on. Data points. We want data points. We build our narrative off data points, and we look ahead because the market's looking ahead. Market might react to things going on today. Noise, right? Noise. The Snapchat stuff. Wall Street knows. Wall Street overreacts. Stock way overreacted. They barely missed. Lots of things look great for the company. Facebook's also having some trouble. Also not too worried there. Snapchat has been negatively viewed by Wall Street for I don't even know how long. And I got derailed off the NFT thing. I would like to see that because they have art in the cities, right? And you can go in the city, pull out your phone, look at the art on the building and stuff. It's so cool. It's a ton of fun, right? I would like to see them then pair that to an NFT and then use the Snap Map thing to where it's like, oh, I could buy this, piece of artwork on the St. Louis Arch or on the Statue of Liberty or, on the side of a zebra at the San Diego Zoo. I don't know. That would be like awesome. I think that would also be a huge driver for revenue, if they're looking for different ways to make revenue, holy cow, they should be doing this. I tried tweeting the CEO and stuff, reaching out in some sort of way. And I actually was thinking about going through the engineers at the company and shooting it over to them. Which again, some people are like, why would you do that? Why would you do that? Man, yeah. Thinking like that's going to get you nowhere in life at all. Like, just stop. And sometimes I'm honest, and I'll tell people, like, hey, I'm really tired. I'm not going to trade today and stuff. And they're like, why would you tell the truth and like say how you're feeling and like be authentic? Yeah. I'm still a little tired if you can't tell them. I think I'm a little grumpy. But that's also ridiculous, folks. Get out of here with that. Let's not pretend like we're not all having a human experience and let's just move on. People get caught up on weird things, like Louie here. So, back to Louie. Back to Snapchat. Facebook had the same issues. I can't help but feel like Facebook might be in more trouble than I think. They might save themselves with VR. I'm a little uncertain, though. So here's a big thing. And here's something Louie probably didn't even realize because, I don't even know what he was hoping for. One of the other things with this Apple situation is you have to think, like, Facebook has over 1 billion users. They're all over the world. This massive infrastructure through 2 companies, and then they lose a huge amount of data with Apple. And now they have to navigate this beast of an entity that is now Facebook and all its subsidiaries and get them reorganized around the changes with the Apple data, and then trying to fill in the gaps with the data that was lost and reorganize from that. They literally said in the earnings call this might be like a few years to figure out. Comparative to Snapchat, who's a much smaller company who already had a bunch of available data on hand because they were already building these AR programs and working on other analytics for the in-app usage, because they just have one app for just one company. It's them. And remember, they're more of a camera company. They're advertised as a camera company. Louie, go on their website. It says a camera company. They're technology camera company. I want to say it one more time. It's a technology camera company. One more time for Louie and all his groupthink. It's a technology camera company. Okay, anyways. So there's other revenue opportunities that have nothing to do with ads, obviously, in the future. That's why they keep investing in the software. That's where all these patents from. That's why they bought the Boston technology. That's why they continue to make acquisitions. That's why they continue to navigate through and into the future. All right, they're positioning themselves really well, and being small and nimble like they are is really catching the market off guard because the market doesn't like them. Why doesn't the market like them? Because all these old hedge fund managers don't have a Snapchat. They don't. When it was $4, I asked my sister. I was like, "Hey, how often do you use Snapchat?" She was like, "I have a 600-day streak with my friend." Oh, do you now? How many streaks do you have over 100 days? Well, I don't know. Oh, wow. Okay. Look, you only need to do something for like 30 days for it to be a habit, folks. All right. If someone's got 600 days on a streak, they're not going to stop doing that. They're not going to stop using that. People are more valuable than money. User growth is more value than revenue. If you have users, you can make money. You can just make more merch. You can sell like an online game. You can do. People are money. People are always, say it again, always more valuable than money. There's no situation where that is not true. Oh, what about inflation and blah, blah, blah? People made that go up with their policies, okay? People are always play more of a factor than money in any conversation, in any context, ever, always, okay? if you ever say something about, well, they didn't make much, but they had a great user growth, so I'm bearish. If that's a thought crosses your head, pop, smack yourself. It's stupid. Smack. Bad. 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 Not thinking. Full thoughts. We want full, complete, boulder, crash into a ditch type finished thoughts. Well, I think I've hounded that into the ground as much as humanly possible. Let's go ahead and touch on Docs. Docs has been a total bummer. I think they also fell down because of the ad money. Let's keep in mind they're probably not going to be these issues with Facebook and Snapchat related to supply chain issues. Maybe Docs has some sort of. Maybe Docs has issues with that. The thing is, I don't think healthcare is slowed down at all. I don't think there's been so much emphasis on that and infrastructure that's been rapidly built around it. I kind of wonder to what extent that's been affected to everything else. Although I do lack details on that, so unlike Louie, I'm not going to make any hard stances. I will say, however, that Apple's changes very unlikely to affect Docs. Excuse me. They operate different. They're in a specific sector, working in specific conditions. You already know who's on there, right? It's doctors. Like, advertisers don't need anything other than like they need to know where the doctors are on Facebook. But when they go to the Docs community, it's like, oh, it's all doctors. It's like, oh yeah. Oh, we don't really need any other data. It's like, oh yeah, we know. Like, so shouldn't be it shouldn't affect them to any of the extents that these other companies are. So yeah. And then there's the Ford comment. That one is, yeah. All right, well, I think that's about it for this episode. This is silly things people say on Twitter. We're already running up some time. We're close to a half hour. Yeah, I think I'm going to start doing this every time people just say ridiculous things on Twitter. Unfortunately, that one guy blocked me. I would love to... The Stanford mathematician mistaking the new internet for a video recording device that was popular about a decade ago it made me laugh. It made me laugh more because I didn't even get to respond. He just blocked me out of embarrassment, I guess, which is obviously a very childish way to handle that. But I guess that's just the way the internet was. I was so cautious and careful coming into Twitter. It's a young fawn grazing out. Like, oh, hello, I'd like to give my opinion. I think I can help people make money. And then just... I have never traded in my life, but let me tell you everything you need to know. That's everyone else on Twitter. Yeah. Are the amount of people who, hide their faces, say that fundamentals don't matter type of, I just started a year ago and now I teach people how to trade, type of folks on, Twitter. I shouldn't even be like that because, let me just be clear. I hope these people learn and they do well, but also understand that part of helping them realize how silly they are is by treating them as silly as they are. And when I interact with them, it's always the same thing. They block me as soon as they realize, holy cow, I actually don't know what I'm talking about. Or they're so far, their head is, it's just so far up there, they actually can't even tell that they haven't done basic back testing or research, or I don't know. I guess they just think that the past year and a half of overexcelling technical analysis is going to be sustained and like indefinitely, and they just haven't. Yeah, the extra liquidity is just, I guess, just going to keep going forever. I guess the new AIs are going to like ruin your TA trading. I guess. No need to think about that. No need to think about what happens if cryptos get adopted, because then what happens to the stock market? You don't want dollars, right? So why would you put dollars in the stock market, especially when it gets overperformed by cryptocurrencies, which it's been doing for the past few months, which is why I've been like, hey, look at these cryptocurrencies. Hey, look at these NFTs. And then what does Twitter do? Twitter's like, oh, NFTs are stupid. I'm going to go buy all these ep8 skins. What is he talking about research? I got 7 more games to play. I'm just kidding. Apex is fun. I don't have time to game anymore, but it was just a joke. So yeah, there's some smart things. That's my input on Snapchat. That's my commentary on these ridiculous claims that people on Facebook make. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing really to say past that. I'm going to do another episode here shortly. I'm going to touch base on what's been going on in the server. I'm going to touch base on crypto, on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and then some NFTs, and then some NFT projects. And I might do that right after this one, or I might just go ahead and do that tomorrow and finish up some more, just a little bit more research for that video, and then probably provide some more market commentary. I guess I'll add this on here. This is getting a little long. We're not doing so bad. I'll go ahead and give some current market commentary. And actually, to do that, let me go ahead and pull this up, because I'm expecting some mixed reviews tomorrow. And if you're new to the server, we changed our outlook, or the way everything looks. Let me go ahead and bring this over here so that you can see. So under the calendar section now, every Sunday I'll be updating this, especially during the earnings season, and I'll go ahead and update what companies I'm looking at, and then provide some extra commentary. So today it was Microsoft, Google, TNX, AMD, UPS, and Hood, Robinhood. I meant to play Hood actually, but I actually got caught up. I got caught up helping people in the live stream and didn't even play it, and that is slight drop. Jeez, I did not. Thought they made more than that. I was really interested about Robinhood because I wanted to know how. Yeah. That's crazy. So they had a huge drop in crypto revenue. I'm just now catching up on that. I wanted to commentate on that because that is not a good sign at all. I am extremely bearish on Robinhood. They were an innovator for sure, but there is a lot of cases where the first to do something is not the best to do it. And I think this company did a lot of there was a lot of moral things that they should have thought twice about. Like, this order selling stuff, this is not new. People are freaking out about a lot of these things. They did a terrible job of informing their users about the market. So when there was a pause, people freaked out because they didn't realize that there was some question about GME, that specific instance. But typically when a stock is paused, it's paused everywhere because it's not paused by a specific brokerage. People didn't even know this. They're like freaking out. Again, this is just, there's a lot of immature investors and traders out here, and like you need to inform them or you're gonna burn them and they're gonna lose money. They're never gonna come back. That's what's gonna happen to most of these people on Twitter. It's exactly what's happening in Robinhood. People don't even want to trade crypto with Robinhood. When these markets get rough, because we won't forever just be able to print money, especially keep in mind if crypto displaces everything, like, your boulder's halfway down the hill. Finish the thought. What happens in a decade. All right, it's twice as fast as the internet. What happens? Play it out. Everyone's like in denial. I don't know if there's gonna be a stock market. There's probably gonna be a different stock market. I don't know how it will function. It might function completely different than this. We don't know. But you're gonna see some really weird moves. If granted, it might a decade might be way too quick. But yeah. Now is the time period to make wild guesstimates and to have those ridiculous thoughts, because this is when ridiculous things happen, okay? Tesla hit $1 trillion. Kathy Woods called Tesla hitting $1 trillion, and they did. People didn't understand that's probably like one of the greatest like predictions ever in like decades. Like when she called it, for her to call that and say that was going to happen is just like mind-boggling that it actually came to fruition. It was like at the peak of everyone being bearish. She was like, this company's going to hit $1 trillion. And everyone's like, yeah, that lady's crazy. And she was right. It hit $1 trillion. I mean, so before you're like, oh, he's just crazy. I'm not the one being ridiculous. Group thinks. And that's been occurring a lot just because it's not even just stocks. It's China stuff. It's a lot of things right now. The Facebook stuff, the nuance, the issue with the environmentalists. I mean, it's basically a religion now because you tell them how to actually fix stuff. We got to use... Look, uranium is the way to go. Uranium should be the trade right now. And it's been doing well. Actually, let's go ahead and check that. Because it's still earnings season. There's nothing big tomorrow, so tomorrow might be just reacted off the earnings today. But rest of the week, remember, we have more earnings. Friday, we're going to have some economic data to keep an eye out for. That was for the... Oh, and today was also pushed by this new home sales surprise. Sorry, I'm just trying to cover this, and then I'll get back to my boulder in the middle of the hill. Oh, we're expecting a miss on personal income, which could be a biggie. That could further accelerate these downward estimates into the fourth quarter, which we're seeing. We had some, shaky results from some of these big tech companies. It could put some more down pressure on the market. Although even as I look here, these payment companies are still doing well, which is something to consider. If we do taper, they will perform well. Roblox actually sold off into the close. Looks like we had like a ton of volume building up into the close, though. The market's been doing that, betting big into these earnings calls. It's interesting decision that it's going through. I expect tomorrow to be a pretty boring day, but coming back to Robinhood, super bearish. There's also a massive overlap with PayPal who wants to offer stocks. Don't like volatility potentially in the week, but we're still in earnings season. We could see a lot of bullishness come back. I'm worried about how far downward these fourth quarter results go, but also keep in mind that could be that is showing to be a global concern, and so money might pour from global markets to our market, which means the market might melt up into bad news. So be ready for that, because everyone's gonna, same thing. Most people are not gonna arrive to that full thought that I have. They're gonna be like, oh my gosh, the whole world is the U.S. No one else puts money here ever. La 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 la. Why is the market going up? They're not gonna understand. So see past that. See past the noise, and be ready for that to occur, because it could easily occur. And if the energy crisis comes up, we could see Bitcoin spike. And I'm missing a thought here. There was a thought I was going to finish, and I completely skipped it. I'm racking my brain to see if I can reclaim it. We're also seeing quite the sell-off from Coinbase. So I guess the expectation is that Coinbase somehow has had less crypto being traded on it. That could be a fantastic dip buy because I doubt that. That is more emotional. It's hard to imagine. Actually, what is that? A $10 move? It's pretty much a $10 move in after hours. If that holds, that's probably a great trade opportunity, actually. I also think it's a good time to get in Snapchat. That also could be from just actual movement on the coin, though. Let me see. This is the type of thing I would do on stream and not for a podcast, but I guess this isn't going to be a typical podcast. So it's fine. That's not what I meant to pull up. What am I doing? Okay, so Bitcoin is coming down. Okay, all right. Yeah. I'm not going to talk about it today. I'm going to go off on a huge thing if I start talking about this. Energy crisis. I'll say two things. The energy crisis could be bullish. And I know there's a lot of commentary on cryptocurrencies, a lot of commentary on Bitcoin. Just noise. I don't hear anything important at all. Just a lot of dumb speculation. We're not gonna get caught into it. I'll do a whole nother video. I doubt right now it'll go out tonight, but I'll hopefully put that out tomorrow. I feel like I didn't finish the thought earlier. I think we've covered a good amount, though. I am worried about. I'm not gonna trade heavily into anything right now. I like piddling on the earnings. I had meant to play Hood, got caught up on the stream, didn't play it. We've updated tons in the Discord. That's what I was gonna do. I'm gonna put out a this week. Expect the crypto video. Probably another recap of some of these earnings. Maybe this weekend you'll get that video, and then by this weekend you can also expect a advanced tutorial version for the Discord, and then I'm gonna start pouring content in the Discord. So probably a touch base video. I think for the next Discord update, we will move those from the. Maybe I'll do both. Maybe I'll type it out and then do a video, and then not put like my little jokes with it. Instead, just do a video with it as well. I think that might be the plan. Okay. Well, we all went on quite the journey for this episode. Whatever this was like a market update / Twitter trash talk. So, and then we're going in almost 45 minutes. I'm not sure what to call this. We all had fun. Remember, join the Discord. Link's going to be in the description. Like the video. Subscribe. Hit that bell. Ring that bell. Smack that bell. Punch that bell. Donkey kick that bell. Send that bell to Mars with Elon and his Tesla car. Love your faces. I will see you on the next episode of whatever this is.